Hello again. Feels like it's been a really long time since I did a figuring out my fears video, which it might have. Um, but that aside, let's get down to what I'm doing. Uh, for this one, I probably could have described this a little better, but this is just the title, and I'm going to be getting into it a bit more. I might even give it a bit more thought throughout the course of this video and even after this video to title it something better. But I used being someone else as the way of describing it, and I realize now that that's not exactly a great way of describing how I feel or what exactly I'm scared of. Maybe it could, I guess, depending on who you are, but for me, it feels a little unrelated. Particularly what I mean by being someone else is, now I have to elaborate, my mind's gone blank. Um, what I mean by that is more in a sense that I get scared of not being who I am as I am now. So in a sense, whenever I look towards the future or even look at a goal that I have, bigger, biggest example, the pornography goal that I have, I see myself at the end of that, and I see an entirely different person. And while this has gotten somewhat better as I continue to progress and not fail, essentially, it's still very much just lingering in the back of my head. I notice myself as an entirely different person by the end of it, and for some reason that scares me. It gives me a sense of existential dread. It's it's not it's not the most comfortable feeling, and it's certainly, the dread itself certainly makes me want to give up on quite a few things. I think especially before I started journaling and this video series as well. Not this series in particular, but posting videos to, you know, one, revisit as well as keep myself accountable has, I guess, kind of sidelined the fear. It's still there. It's still very much there, just in a much more minor sense. It's uh, it's got a decent enough effect on me that makes me want to quit, as I said earlier. And these videos have been a pretty decent way of circumnavigating that. One, because it's kind of a snapshot into who I was before, even though, again, it really doesn't make too much sense for most people because it's just a vague idea of who I was at the time. There's still so many chunks missing. But when I revisit it, I'll be able to see what parts of me were different because I'm actually going to be talking about the parts of me that were different. I'm going to be able to observe from who I am at that current moment, sometime either in the future or maybe even now if I feel like it, to who I was before, which kind of inadvertently curbed this fear. I did make videos like this specifically to keep myself accountable, but I think it's unintentionally helping sort of curb this fear of existential dread from being a different person. Um, yeah, back onto questions. I already did one and two. As a matter of fact, I didn't even have to label one and two. One just kind of came out naturally. Uh, Rambling. Number three. I don't remember these things, even though I'm the one who wrote them down. Ay, ay, ay. How do I handle it? I could have inferred that. How do I handle it in particular? I don't. It's one of the ones that just kind of fades away. It, I mean, there's not much I could have done about it, especially at the time. But reflecting on what I literally just said, I guess in a sense I handle it by doing this, by speaking myself into existence online. Either that or just speaking myself into a video. These don't even necessarily have to be online. As a matter of fact, I haven't deleted a single video off of my well, I guess I have, but I transferred it onto a drive, so I have them all backed up, and if I run out of space, I'm going to order another drive so that I can dedicate that one entirely to videos like this. And I'm probably going to do that for the foreseeable future, I guess. Just, I guess as long as I'm making videos. At least videos like this. If I ever do start to make more highly edited, more high quality videos, then I probably, excuse me, I probably won't keep the either the raw version or the edited version, one or the other. But I wouldn't know. I haven't considered doing that. So, but yeah, I guess in a sense I have come up with a way of coping with it without even realizing. Because at the time of writing these questions, which this one should have happened at least a month ago now, I never really thought of it that way. Then that's rather interesting. Where do these stem from? Where does this existential dread of becoming a different person come from? That's actually a really good question. I don't remember what I wrote down here. Inevitability. Entropy. Okay. Alright. I guess, so that is the reason I put down. But I also realized that it doesn't fully make sense without context. The inevitability of change, it's always there. It doesn't matter how staunchly traditional you are, inevitably you're going to change. It is the easiest thing to find in the world. Change is everywhere. And there is a sense of horror to that. But, like, I guess the reason why it's actually horrifying in a way is because there is definitely an intense desire to stay the same, to stagnate, to not change anymore, to be exactly who I am, and to be secure in exactly who I am. Which, while I definitely don't hold that opinion much anymore, it is still there. There is still a sort of insecurity about both changing and abandoning something else. I talked about it in the fear video about loss. It's just something that's kind of overall tough to deal with in a way. It feels more instinctual, more like just something that you feel regardless of whether or not you yourself consciously make the decision to feel it. So it might not be something that I can actually do anything about, which brings me a little bit of solace, but it also just sucks that I might just be stuck with this, and there's not really any real way to overcome it besides, well, essentially figuring out how to deal with it and turning that fear into pretty much nothing. N5. What can I do? The biggest and most important part of all of these, if I can't really confront it and change my own behavior now in order to properly deal with these, then what's the point of making these videos? Well, obviously reflection, in the hopes that maybe I figure something out. What I wrote down, actually, it's pretty much what I just said. I gotta learn to grapple with it. As I grow, mature, whatever, it doesn't really, whatever word you want to use, I'm just gonna have to learn to get used to it. There's not much I can do about that. And I don't really see anything wrong with it. There's not really a way to confront something like this besides just taking a step back from the fear, either when you're experiencing it, after, or even before you experience it, and just sort of figuring out why does it really matter to you? Is it actually something to be scared of? essentially doing what I'm doing now. And like I said earlier, change is inevitable. It's gonna happen. I don't really have a choice in the matter. Even if I wanted to stay the same, I'd be incapable of it. Especially due to the contents of my character, I literally would be incapable of it. I'm just not built for I'm not built for the same thing day in, day out. It's just not my thing. So, really just take a step back, understand where that how that fear comes out, maybe even a little more where it comes from, and just kind of learn to accept it, learn to live with it. It'll pop up every now and then, but especially in terms of some of the other ones I've tackled, this really isn't all that crippling at all. It does, again, bring on a sense of existential dread, which can be very hard to work with. But as I grow up, I mean, never mind. I am 20. I'm still I'm still on the border of being a kid. But as I grow older, grow wiser, it probably won't be a problem anymore. As I figure out who I am, who I want to be, how I want to tackle things in the world, it'll get much easier to handle, especially since there's no, I guess, concrete coping mechanism for something like this. So I'm just kind of stuck with it. It is what it is. That's really all there is to it. Can't really do too much about it, but it's really not the worst thing that could happen to me. So I suppose that's all my thoughts on it. This video was a lot shorter than the other ones. I didn't expect to wrap this up. I think I've just been getting better at articulating myself. I've been able to talk faster. I've been able to portray my thoughts much better, and I'm trying a lot harder not to repeat myself nearly as much. So hopefully, I can keep I can keep improving upon that and not stop doing and just I don't know, stay silent when I don't have anything to say or when the words haven't come out of my head yet. That type of thing. It's actually pretty nice to see myself improving over this series as well, even though this is more just meant to be an exploration instead of actually geared towards improvement in any sort of way. But I guess with exploration, there's plenty of improvement to be had, so maybe I was just looking at it the wrong way the whole time. Either way, I will see myself next time.